Hello, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Welcome to this week's Disney wedding chat. So glad you're here. Hi, Disney baby. So glad you guys could all join today. For some reason, my cat is meowing outside of the door, so I don't know if you guys can hear it or not, but don't be alarmed. Hey, how are you doing? Hi, my name is Mindy. Hi, that was really close, sorry. My name is Mindy, and I run a blog called Budget Fairy Tale, and it's all about Disneyland weddings. And my husband and I got married a few years ago at the Disneyland Hotel, and I fell in love with Disneyland weddings and decided I wanted to keep writing and talking about them, so here I am. Let me know where you guys are all from while I'm doing just a little bit of introduction stuff. First of all, if you are new to Periscope and you want to give hearts, just tap on the screen and it'll give hearts. And then if you could be so kind as to share this with your Twitter feed and your Periscope followers. Hi, Renee! Just tap the little guy at the bottom and it'll let you share this broadcast. So thank you, Renee, for sharing. I really appreciate it. Everyone, Renee is a wedding planner here in Los Angeles, and she does a Wednesday wedding chat as well, and you guys should all follow her because she's awesome. Hey, Amber! Oh my gosh, thanks for checking in. So cool. So great to see familiar faces. I love it. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and type them in. And I have a couple topics to cover, but if you have any questions, go ahead and type them in, and I will try to answer the best I can. So today, one of the big topics we're going to talk about is rain. I actually went to a Disneyland wedding on Saturday. Congratulations to Sylvia and Jeff. Thank you so much for inviting me to your wedding. I had a great time. But we had some freak weather here in Southern California, including major rainstorms, which never ever happen in July. So it's crazy. Hey, Ange, thanks for checking this out. Thanks so much. We had some crazy weather, and there was a lot of fear that her wedding, which was held at the Rose Court Garden outdoors, would be moved inside. And it's just one of those things, you guys, weather, you just can't control it. So it's really easy to say that it's Renee. I'll come back to that question in a bit. It's really, hey Liz, thanks for logging in. It's really, it's easy for me to say, don't worry about it. I get why brides get so stressed out about it. You've been planning this event for months and months and months, and you have this beautiful outdoor ceremony and all of the decor and the carriage, and sometimes it doesn't work out, and it's really sad, but I know for a fact that the Disney staff will do everything they can to take care of you and give you a great location, an indoor location. They'll do their best to make it look beautiful, and anything that you need or your guest needs, I know that they will take care of you. And in fact, I know that we had a couple Disneyland weddings Saturday and Sunday that were unfortunately had to be moved inside due to rain, and I know that it's very frustrating, but I know Disney takes good care of you. So it's a bummer, but it's one of those things that you just can't control. There's a lot of things you can control to be stressed out about, and I would say that rain just isn't one of them. So yes, and rain on your wedding day, of course, is good luck. And there was once a wedding at the Disneyland Hotel on St. Patrick's Day that had to be moved inside for rain, so I always say that wedding must have been double lucky, and it was beautiful as well. So Renee asked earlier, hey Kristen, thanks for joining the chat. Renee asked earlier if you can only have Mickey and Minnie at your wedding reception or if you can have other characters. Mickey and Minnie are definitely the most popular, but yes, you can have other characters. Everything is subject to approval through Disney, so you can make whatever requests you want, and they might say no and they might say yes. But personally, we had Mickey and Minnie and Donald at our reception. Yes, the Grand Californian. That's where we had our reception too, and it was beautiful, and I loved it. Can you renew your vows at Disney? Yes, of course. It's the same department. They do everything the same. It's the same events team. It's the same decor. It's the same whatever you want. However you want to plan it, yes, you can definitely have a vow renewal. We talked a little bit about vow renewals during our chat last week, but I'm happy to put that down as a future topic to get a little more in depth about that. I haven't seen villains. Actually, I take that back. For a Walt Disney World wedding, I did see some villains, and I can't remember who exactly, but it was someone who had like 20 characters at their wedding. It was really intense. If you look up the Disney Wedding podcast that my friend Carrie does, she talked about, she had that couple as a guest on their podcast, and it was really intense. But that was the thing that they wanted to spend their budget on and surprise their guests with, and it seemed really, really neat. But yes, you can have Mickey and Minnie at your wedding. We had Donald at our wedding as well, and I've seen weddings at the Disneyland Resort that have Goofy or Pluto, and I think I've also seen Chip and Dale, and I can't say for sure. Obviously, I can't promise anything. You can always ask. I've heard that they don't allow face characters, so you can't have a princess like Cinderella and Prince Charming. Maybe if you have the right budget, you can, but I haven't seen that. So you can always ask your planner if that's something you want to have. Villains would be super cool. I agree. That's really that would be awesome. Hey Liz, thanks for joining. Someone just asked a question and I totally missed it. Sorry about that. If you want to type in your question again, I'll try to answer it. But yeah, so the characters are awesome. And hey Christy, thanks for joining in. And so for now, I will just go on to my next question, which was someone asked about gorilla weddings, which are unauthorized weddings inside of the Disneyland parks. Yes, they do happen. No, they're not allowed. Disney does not allow for gorilla weddings, unauthorized weddings inside the park. It's basically something that you do at your own risk. I've actually seen a few YouTube videos of people uploading their rogue Disneyland weddings. So, yeah, I know it's pretty crazy. But I've seen a bunch of them. Yes, you can get thrown out. If you get caught, you will get thrown out. And the thing that you have to remember about Disney is that they're always watching you. There are cameras everywhere, literally everywhere, except maybe the restrooms. I don't think you get banned necessarily, but you do get kicked out, and maybe they take your ticket away for the rest of the day. If you have a pass holder, I'm not really sure. But if you get caught, yes, you can get removed from the park. So I've heard of stories of people successfully having weddings. Of course, you don't want to draw attention to yourself. You want to find kind of a quiet corner. You can't go in with 30 people and stand in front of the castle in the middle of the day and try to have a wedding ceremony. It's just not going to happen. You're going to get shut down. So the ones that I've seen that have been successful are really small, like just the officiant and a witness and the couple. And you can't draw attention to yourself. You have to be wearing normal clothes. You cannot wear anything that resembles a ball gown or formal wear. And it has to be quick. You say those vows and you're done. Hey, Serena, thanks so much for joining. Um, there's tons of undercover security. So you might see a lot of the regular security guards, but there's a ton of undercover security guards too in plain clothes. And I've heard that there's even more plainclothes security guards than there are the ones that you've seen. The Mickey bridal ears, I'm not quite sure if I know what you're asking about, Renee. If you wear the bridal ears, I mean, that's not really a red flag. But if you are wearing the bridal ears and the groom ears and having a big ceremony with a bunch of people gathered around you, then yeah, they'll probably notice that. So let me know if that answers your question. But I've seen it, I've heard about it successfully done on Pirates of the Caribbean. One couple had just maybe 5 to 10 people with them, and they all got in a boat, and as the boat launched, the officiant started up the ceremony, and they were done by the time the first drop came around. So I saw them in an online article, I think. So that's a ninja wedding for sure. They're, again, plain clothes, no formal photography, no nothing. I would be afraid they would say, "Off with your head and take my pass away." I know, me too. I don't condone this at all. I think that if you're going to get married at Disney, you should do it the right way. And just because, there's different weddings for everybody, but if you really want the big wedding with all your family and friends, and you want to wear the dress, and you want to have characters at your reception, then I think that you should do it the right way. And now I remember that question that I think it was Ange that asked if you can have characters in your wedding ceremony, and you cannot. You can only have characters at your reception. And the reason for that, as far as I understand it, is because, the ceremony is supposed to be the thing that's super sacred and super serious. And Disney really respects that. So you get your half-hour ceremony, or less than that if you don't need a half hour. But you get your ceremony, and that's when it's really heartfelt and romantic and serious, and that's a real commitment. And I think they just want it to be taken seriously. And if there's characters there, then it can cause a distraction, and maybe people won't pay attention. Yes, reception is for the fun character moments. Yeah, the reception is the party, and that's when the characters come out, and they can either meet and greet with the guests or help you cut the cake, and fun stuff like that. By the way, say hi again, Serena. Serena is a wonderful wedding photographer in Southern California. So if you're looking for a wedding photographer, look her up. She's super sweet and super talented, and she's done a ton of stuff at Disneyland. So make sure you're following her. Thanks so much, Serena. What are your favorite cake flavors? I'm sorry I didn't get the rest of that question, but my favorite cake flavors for our wedding, we had chocolate with chocolate frosting and raspberry with the Chambord soap, and it was amazing, super amazing. Our guests raved about it. We also did a pink velvet, which is like red velvet, but because our colors were pink and orange, I asked if they could make it pink instead of red, and they said yes. So that was a lot of fun, and that had cream cheese frosting with little bits of white chocolate chips in the frosting. Oh man, it was so good. So we only had those 2 cake flavors. I've also had, hey Becca, thanks for joining. Their cakes are delicious and very pretty. Yes, Disney does a fantastic job with their cakes. They have a wonderful bakery. If you give them an idea or a vision, they will bring it to life for you. And yeah, not only do they look good, but the Disney cakes really do taste good. I always say they're made with pixie dust because I don't know how they do it. But yeah, exactly, Christy. I need a VR vow renewal so I can have another Disney cake. I agree. You can, thanks for sharing, Ange. You can order cakes if you're visiting Disneyland, or I believe Walt Disney World too. You can try to order a cake through the Central Bakery by calling Disney Dining. I've heard some people have different levels of success with it. I know for our first anniversary, we were able to get that chocolate cake recreated. with some of the same decor that was on our original wedding cake. So that was really cool. But yeah, so Disney cake is the best. So, okay, so back to Rogue Wedding. So I've seen the one on the Pirates of the Caribbean. I've also heard of some on the Haunted Mansion, like in the foyer before you get into the elevator. I've heard of people stopping and having just a really quick bow exchange right there. And I've heard of them happening at the Wishing Well. That's a very popular spot, but again, it's a really well-trafficked area. Yeah, on the Mark Twain, it's kind of secluded. So it's probably pretty easy to have a quickie ceremony there if that's your thing. But yeah, by the Wishing Well is super popular. And again, I've heard different types of stories. Some people get away with it. Oh, thanks for the share, Christy. I've heard some people get away with it and some people get caught. So I don't recommend it. But people do it. So I don't know what to tell you. So that's all the topics I have for today. If anybody has any other questions, you can go ahead and put them in. Otherwise, I'm going to try to do a chat like this every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern, a Disney Weddings chat. And if you liked this chat, if you could share it. Thanks, Serena. You're so knowledgeable. Well, I've been obsessed with this stuff for like 3 years since our wedding, so might as well put it to good use, right? If you like this chat and you wouldn't mind sharing it, you can just tap the little guy and share it on Twitter or share it with your Periscope followers, or you can swipe right or up depending on what device you're using. I'd really appreciate it. And I hope that you guys had fun on this week's Disney Wedding Chat, and I will see you. Oh, don't forget, if you have any other questions or want to look up more about Disneyland weddings, you can visit my blog at budgetfairytale.com or find me on Facebook at budgetfairytale. All right, so thanks, and thank you so much for the hearts, you guys. I really, really appreciate it. So that's it for me. Thanks for tuning in. Bye. Bye, guys. Thanks, Christy.